Hey, welcome to Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Please continue me on YouTube, following me on YouTube and Rumble, where there is little to no censorship. I'm going to do a video. It may be the end of this channel. If it does, just follow me on Rumble, but I am going to express my First Amendment rights. Newsmax was removed off the air by AT&T, who owns DirecTV. That merger should never have occurred. It was condoned by those people who are lining their pockets in the House and Senate. And a monopoly has occurred on information. It's never a good thing. If you connect the dots, the long trail of dots, you will see where it's headed and what kind of trouble we are actually in as the United States and Americans living within it. It all started with the COVID, the jab, the information, true or false, whatever happens. And you have to accept the science behind it. You didn't dare question it. This channel has had several strikes because I spoke too much truth. And I am speaking too much truth now. Two congressmen, liberal Democrats from the state of California, who sits on the FCC board, and others that control licensing and everything else, put pressure on AT&T reportedly and said, we need to censor this. They're spreading disinformation about certain subjects, about vaccines, voting, and Trump, and MAGA and everything else, and we can't have this. You're speaking too much truth about Biden and his son. You can't have this. We need to control the information because the peasants are too stupid to discern the truth for themselves, so we're going to tell the peasants what the truth is. It started out with cancellation of OAN, One American News, which raised my eyebrow, made me mad, and I sent emails out to that rhino Republican Portman, who is, thank goodness, gone from the Senate. He did as much damage as anybody else. And I got no reply. What a surprise. He's part of the Never Trumpers and believes in the censorship. Thank goodness he's gone, but we still have plenty in the House and Senate that need to go as well. There's a reason the First Amendment is the first in line. That's because people are smart enough to say, you know, what you're saying is not adding up. When you're canceling news stations that have a different opinion than the government, but yet leave others on there that are preaching filth and violence and hate and everything else, like MSNBC Joyless Reed and Bobblehead Belinsky on Morning Joe, they want you dumbed down. They want the American people stupid, and people are falling for it. All around the world, people are being suppressed. They're being fed in pablum the truth, diluted down, rearranged, and said, here, take this and you'll like it. In England, people are being arrested for praying in silence because that's hate-filled, because they were protesting the Pride Parade. Same in Germany. New Zealand, you should be jumping up and down for joy that that lady dictator is finally stepping down. I'll believe it when I see it. It's hard to get dictators out of office unless you forcibly remove them. But they're being replaced by another one who just happened to be in control of the COVID measures. So you're not doing yourselves any favor down there, Kiwis. Wake up. You've already lost your right to bear arms. You've already lost your right to health care. You've already lost most of your free speech. What are you waiting for? Get it over and done with. Australia, you're heading there really fast as well. You got corruption all the way top down, and they're telling you what you can and cannot do, how much you can eat, where you can go. And if you don't behave, they're going to lock you down in COVID camps. even if you test negative, you get the privilege of saying, I'm not taking the jab. I'm not believing the science. I want my rights. And they're saying, no, that request is denied. You're in a COVID camp. Even though you've tested negative, we're going to punish you anyway for speaking out against us. So no soup for you. Go sit in your hovel and wait, and you can't cross a red line for 2 more weeks. And we don't care if you lose your job. We don't care if you lose your apartment. We don't care. You belong to us. And that's the way it's happening here in the United States very quickly. You have business people making decisions on censorship, directly violating the Constitution, our First Amendment. These people aren't elected. They don't know me other than somebody in a cubicle with blue hair and a nose ring saying, you got a strike, and now we get rid of you. Good for us. Let me put that chalk mark up on the wall and add another one to my list. That's YouTube for you. Twitter is the same way. Just not as bad. Google, oh yeah. Let's follow what you're doing. Let's censor your searches. Let's only give you the truth that we want you to find and say, there it is. And if it's not the truth, we'll fact check it and say, oh, that's disinformation. That's false. But we control the fact checkers, and we'll tell them what to fact check and how to fact check it, because we control them. Do you see where I'm going here, people? People, we got to start standing up. We have to start protesting. We have to start saying, no, you cannot do that to us anymore. And we better start holding the elected officials, both R&D, and they're both the same, their wings on the same bird of corruption. Start holding these people's feet to the fire. Start sending them emails. Start making phone calls. Start writing letters and saying, we didn't elect these people to tell us we can eat bug meal, cricket powder. We didn't tell these people, I have my right to free speech and I have a right to my own thought process. And if I want to believe right, left, or middle, I'm going to search for all the information and make my own informed decision. And I don't need somebody at DirecTV or AT&T saying, oh, this is what, you are going to have a selection of. Here's Fox News. We left that alone for you. Fox News says, we're not covering anything Trump. None of his rallies, and isn't that funny? He's a candidate now, and suddenly the one that covered his rallies, Newsmax, is off the air. You think they're putting their thumb on the elections? Do you think they're not doing stuff like that? It's on purpose. And then you say, well, we have the Second Amendment to back up first. Do we? Have you seen the rulings coming out of the DOD and the DOJ and the Supreme Courts around here? You have to fight for every right that was put pen to paper by our forefathers, and people nowadays, especially the Democrats, and I said Democrats because they are, and the Rhino Republicans who are aiding and abetting the loss of our freedom, Tom Tillis, Cornyn, Nancy Mace, Tom Cotton, who is saying, oh yeah, I'm going to support the turtle and all his BS. All these people are traitors, betraying our right to knowledge. And if you're not saying, I got to get prepared, you better start waking up and better start thinking about it, because sometimes this information is going to end someday. This information is going to end. Unless you want to interested in learning how to bake cakes and watching stupid 2-second videos of some girl in a short dress jumping up and down so you can get your jollies, that's what you're going to have left. You're going to have information. You're going to have the power of discernment to say, wait a minute, God, help me out here. This is what this unelected bureaucrat is saying. This is my vision of the future. It's not yours. Help me defend myself against this spiritual tyrannical warfare and these people that don't believe in you and say anything goes. And here's the information we want you to believe. You better have a way to discern the truth. You better have a way to get information that's accurate. And you better know how to pass it along. Because that time is coming, my friends. They're watching your phone. They're watching your channels you look at. They're watching you on cameras all around the United States, where you walk, where you drive, the stores you shop at. Amazon says, oh, he was searching this. Let's send him a coupon. McDonald's is doing the same thing. You're under 24-hour surveillance. You don't think people don't know who you are? They know you better than your spouse. Stand up. People are saying, well, that happened to OAN. They were nothing. They were a fledgling channel and they couldn't afford it. And then they say, oh, yeah, this just happened to Newsmax, the fourth largest rated. They were beating CNN and MSNBC combined in ratings and views. They were beating Fox News at times. And since Fox News says we're not covering anything Trump or MAGA or anything else, we're allowed to stay on air. But when does it come to the point where we're saying, we made the decision, you crossed the line too much? And now Fox News is gone. The Murdochs aren't any friend to the Republican Party or the conservative nature. The Murdochs are liberal Democrats that control the freedom of flow of information. You better wake up. Start reading books. Start looking at the history. Anytime a country falls, it's because people were suppressed. Truth was twisted upside down, inside out. Lies were passed as fact. This has got to stop. You better wake up. Start telling people, you voted. Get your money's worth out of these lazy bums. Make them do something. And if you didn't vote, then shame on you because you're part of the problem. You're not standing up for your rights that people shed their bloods for. They're pushing this for a reason. They have an agenda. They want to take over everything by 2030. And the press, the unelected bureaucrats, and everybody else is complicit with them because money rules. And yeah, this is a rant because I'm ticked. I sent out emails, made phone calls. What did you do? Do you even care? Are you sitting back and saying, well, I got mine. That's too bad if you don't have yours. You need to wake people up because it's happening all around the world. And when America falls, and it will fall, what are you going to do then? Where are you going to run to? Where are you going to bug out to? Mexico? Oh, yeah. Good luck, Chuck. You can come in, but you can never leave. Oh, I'm going to Canada. Oh, yeah. You see what's happening to Trudeau? If the cops weren't there to save his scrawny little Hollywood dictator neck, he would be in the hospital right now. People are sick of his dictatorship. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to flee from? Or flee to, rather? There's no place safer than here in the United States. And if you're not willing to put your mouth, your money, your body on the line to defend it, then you don't deserve to be here. And when free speech falls, and it will, you're going to say, well, I can't talk to you because, the censorship and I can't say this because they're watching, and I can't go to Wally World because they've got cameras going in and out of the place, and I might have a warrant out for my arrest. But that's okay. Every intersection, they got cameras with facial recognition, license plate readers. That's okay. Background checks to get hired. We want to know everything about you just to get the cashier's job. This is my rant. This is the truth. You better have a way to discern it. And it's not just going to be a physical war. It's going to be a spiritual warfare. And you better get yourself right with God right now. Get yourself baptized, submerged in water. Become one of God's warriors. It's going to fall to us. And it ain't going to be pretty. Greg out.